are listening to the Chartographers.
Hello, everybody! You are listening to the Chartographers. It's the Happy Hour Minisode, and guys, I am really excited about this. We were talking about Phil Collins, the big old PC. And guys, we had an amazing podcast where everyone agreed on everything until the last moments, and then it turned into an epic battle of, various epicness. But guys, I have the two biggest Phil Collins fans on the planet right now. I have Colin McGuire, and I got Ryan Reed. They are right here in the room with me. They're amazing people. They are freshly imbibed with various imbibbies. And guys, we're gonna start off the Happy Hour Minisode with the question I ask at the start of every Happy Hour Minisode. Between the two of you, I'm really excited about this. Guys!
I'm nervous.
What is the worst Phil Collins song?
Oh, God.
Oh.
Jesus Christ, that's tough.
I know. There is a lot.
Well,
I'm not going to say wear my hat, but that's up there for me. But I am more than willing to hear all sorts of other ideas and thoughts. I want to know.
I don't know if I can answer this just yet. Colin, can you answer? Because I need some time.
I would go literally, and I mean literally, with anything on Testify.
It's going to be on that album.
It's going to be on that album. I was really gonna fuck with Ryan and say One More Night, but I won't do that.
Oh, God damn it, dude.
That would have been delightful, by the way.
I was waiting for that.
I know.
Actually, no, I don't know. Ryan, what do you have?
Oh, man.
The Times They Are Changing is actually up there for me. I'm not even kidding about that.
I agree with that.
Dude, it's got to be something on Testify, just based on principle alone. Like, I can't think of the actuals. Part of me wants to go with that fucking Tarzan song, though, with NSYNC.
I thought you loved Tarzan.
Yeah!
I do, but that song is... Two Worlds is a fucking masterpiece, all right,
Wait a second. Wait, do you guys remember...
You'll Be in My Heart.
You'll Be in My Heart.
Trash in the Camp. Trash in the Camp.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember on Dance Into the Light, the song where he tries to be a hip-hop artist?
What the fuck is it called?
What? Take Me Down?
Yeah.
No, that's not it.
No,
River So Wide, Same Moon. I'm just reading off the track list now. It's In Your Eyes, Love Police.
It's not the same moon. I think it's Love Police, if I'm not mistaken, but I also don't care. So, because it's also...
I don't remember this at all.
You don't remember the hip-hop? He talks about, I'm telling you, in the liner notes, I'm really big on
No, please do. I love it.
But in the liner notes that he did for the re-release for Dance Into the Light, he kind of disowns it. He's like, yeah, I tried to do hip-hop and it sucked. So...
Well, credit is where credit due. He acknowledged that, so...
The irony is that a lot of rappers love Phil Collins.
Mm-hmm.
He's like a... super he did this piece with
Bone Thugs and Harmony,
with Rolling Stone, I believe, where it was like the one that everybody quoted where everybody thought he was suicidal.
Yeah,
I don't know if you guys remember that.
Oh my god, how could you not read that?
Oh, that's such a classic. And then
I was hoping you wrote it, but I guess you didn't.
Oh no, I wish I had. Well, actually, I don't know, because that was such a sad.
Yeah.
Everybody thought he was on the verge of suicide,
yeah.
and then he put out this like press release, and it's like, no, I'm not killing myself, but They interviewed. There was some rapper they interviewed, and he was like, "Yeah, man, Phil Collins is dope."
Well, again, he did that song with he did that song with Bone Thugs and Harmony. I can't remember what song they sampled.
They sampled "Take Me Home."
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, which was just amazing. And he flew out and did the music video and everything for him. Like, yeah, I like what you guys will do, and I'll fly out for your video shoot. It's like
Bone Thugs and Colony.
That was the
God
worst Phil Collins.
It's so good.
Bam, boom, drop the mic.
we-
Except I can't because it's expensive.
Can we do the rest of this with Evan doing the Phil Collins impersonation?
Can we make that a rule?
Can we please?
And every future Chartographers that you do.
Yeah,
well,
please.
actually,
it makes no sense, but you're just...
If you want us back, Evan, if you want Ryan and Colin back, you need to give us that accent.
I need that right.
This is the only way it's going to happen,
try
sir.
to do what I'll do. Actually, though, funny fact, just a couple days ago, our dear friend Ryan Reed did put out a article of, what was it, the 20 Peter Gabriel songs that only hardcore fans would know.
I read that, Ryan.
I did.
I
was hoping you would.
I did.
I almost tweeted at you. I always feel too shy.
Me
for
too.
some reason.
Me too.
Like I'm so underconfident that I feel like secretly, if I say something like that to you, you're like, good God already, what is it with this guy?
This
That's
motherfucker
so-
right over here.
Does he not like any other bands? So I never do it. And then every once in a while I do, and I'm like, okay, he does. He actually does.
I wrote
like me. Okay,
I wrote something about Brand New in the last year, and I thought the same thing about you. I'm like, should I tweet at you? But maybe I shouldn't, because you're really special and important and very successful.
And then there's Evan, the hapless middleman in this entire thing. You guys just hold me like China is what you do.
My mom and dad don't like me.
Literally every time Colin does it, I'm gonna laugh. I'm just telling you right now. Ryan, did you determine your least favorite Phil Collins song?
I'm gonna have to go with "Trash in the Can."
Good. I think that's a solid choice. Honestly, that's not
probably, and I don't know if it's a coin flip between the Rosie O'Donnell version and the sync version. You can't go wrong either way, folks. Let's just.
Do you want Donald Trump or Ted Cruz? That's literally the musical equivalent of that. Is between those two. Political. That's amazing, by the way.
Political humor?
Yeah, I know. So I also wanted to toss this idea out there, because I'm actually just curious. Again, Ryan and Colin are big Genesis fans, so I'm just curious, better solo career, Gabriel or Collins?
Gabriel.
This could be its own podcast. Because, I mean, if you go to Phil Collins, you're going to say, well, mega successful, all those things. But Peter Gabriel, by leaps and bounds, has the cooler, better, more interesting catalog. I mean, I don't think that's a question, right?
Oh God, it's to me, it's, and I don't. Maybe there are people who would go with Phil on this, but I think, I mean, for me, we're talking about a musical god in Peter. I mean, he's like the top 3. I mean, I actually just recently did. Was hanging out with a couple people, and we actually wrote down our top 10 bands, and we were going back and forth and arguing about it, and my top 4, I still don't feel confident in the order, but it's the Beatles, not even interesting, Genesis, Peter, and Radiohead, and it's like, how do I order those 4? But I ended up with Peter at number 3. So, I mean, Peter is like a god to me. But then Phil, I think of Phil, my love for him is more rooted in his stuff with Genesis. Yeah. Just because, I mean, like the Phil Genesis albums to me are like sacred. Mm-hmm. But the Phil solo stuff, only like 3 albums would really make that list of like the Desert Island.
But you do understand that in admitting your love for Peter Gabriel over this, that includes loving the Barry Williams show. You know that, right? You know that comes with.
Did you know that I actually wrote, this is actually, no, it's not embarrassing. It's not embarrassing at all.
He just discovered this about himself.
I wrote a college paper about the Barry Williams show music video.
Yeah.
Hey, claps. Okay. Sorry. It's the most.
Thank you, Jeb. I appreciate the wanting of clapping.
Clap, please clap.
Please clap.
I got an A on that paper, and I felt very proud of it. I analyzed the imagery of the. The video is better than the song.
I would agree with that. Although in college, I did a philosophy class where I don't know how it came up. I discovered my teacher was a bit of a music nerd, and I wound up doing a paper about how a remix changes the aesthetic intent of a song. And so I grabbed something off of the Grizzly Bears' first album, because they did an entire remix EP album with it, and that was the first time I ever heard of Owen Pallett / Final Fantasy. And so I did here's the original versus these 2 remixes they did. I just bullshitted around in music critic language for a bit. Got an A on it, same thing. It was just
nice.
I'm like, remixes. I included a CD with my paper too, so there was that element to it, which is
very nice.
I'm sure very wonderful for all those involved. But go ahead and Colin, tell us about your college paper you got an A on about music.
In college, I drank a lot and listened to Fat Joe.
Boom.
Oh my God, Fat Joe! Oh wait, I'm thinking of something else.
Oh my God, I didn't think we were gonna bring him up.
I was thinking, I know, really, how often does Fat Joe come up in Phil Collins' podcast?
Boom.
I know we're doing it again.
We just broke ground.
I know.
We just actually.
I love Big Pun, by the way. That's my favorite.
Much
90s
as
rap.
Fat Joe did.
I do have a topic of discussion. I would like to just broach, or if we have a couple minutes, if we can do that. I don't want to take away Evan's thunder. I know he has very specific things he wants to talk about.
Okay.
But I really want to talk about the live version of the Phil Collins songs, since this is the Phil Collins half episode. I mean, are you guys familiar at all with the bands that he took out for these records?
Well, there's the Phil Collins Big Band that I know he did.
Okay,
for,
yeah.
There's that thing.
Evan, you're out. That's
like I know the players, but they kind of all get jumbled in my head as to which were on which tour and who played together. But I definitely know, at least I think I do, most of the core people who he played with on stage. But
like when he took out the Phoenix,
I think you've got more knowledge on that than me. So let's
hear it. Drop your knowledge.
Well, he took out the Phoenix Horns for the first 2 tours, I think 2 or 3 tours, and they were just incredible. Are you guys familiar with No Ticket Required, the VHS that he put out?
No.
That was his very first tour, but his very first tour actually was not off Face Value. It was off Hello, I Must Be Going. And he went out and did these sort of medley of songs. A lot of the live extras are on the reissues that you guys both have, right? Yes.
That stuff is killer.
But I'm assuming, Ryan, at least you've heard Serious Hits Live, that live record that came out?
Yeah, no? I actually remember his live stuff. I don't listen to pretty much ever, but I like it. Like it's one of those things I'm just a studio album person. I almost never listen to live stuff.
Well, to me, Chester Thompson, the legend.
Oh, he's a fucking incredible.
Yeah, he's just
his Genesis work.
Yeah, his Genesis work, and Phil took him out. Even I don't know if you guys have ever listened to the stuff he did with Frank Zappa, but it's just
oh my god! I was actually just listening to One Size Fits All. Pretty sure he plays on that album.
Oh, he went out. Do you have Live at the Roxy?
Oh my god, yeah, that's my favorite Zappa of all time.
Yeah. Side note, his documentary just opened up, the Frank Zappa one. I'm so excited to see that.
Yes, me too. I haven't. So it's out now?
Yeah, I mean, it's playing in Chicago, like at the Art House Theater, but yeah, the one.
Oh, man.
So then what are you doing here? Why aren't you there?
I know, gee. Well, I had to hit record on the button to make the podcast go. Go ahead.
Okay, go ahead, Evan. I'm sorry for that detour.
It's
Let's
fine.
Keep going.
No, I was just the thing that struck me, though, in doing my research for this leading up to the thing, I was like, is it just me, or is it weird that again, half his number ones come from soundtracks? That just struck me as such a weirdly unusual... You have a theory?
I don't agree with that.
Okay.
Half his number ones?
At least 3. Because remember, it was on the Buster soundtrack, I think he had 2 that were number 1, if I'm not mistaken.
What was on the Buster soundtrack? The only movies that I associate him with is Tarzan, and then he did Against All Odds. What am I missing?
Let's go through it right now. Guys, get on your jackets. Because he also did White Nights, which had the song Separate Lives.
Okay,
that went number 1.
Wow.
That might be my least favorite Phil Collins.
That's a bad song.
That went number 1 again. Against All Odds, of course, had Against All Odds. And the Buster soundtrack, he had 3 songs on there. 2 of them went to number 1 in the U.S. A Groovy Kind of Love and 2 Hearts.
Ugh.
Oh.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Bad.
Yeah.
Bad.
Yeah.
That's it. Can we just delete all of this?
He had 7 number 1s, and 4 of them were from soundtracks, which is why, I think that's a part of the reason why his best of his hits collection sold as well as it did, because all these big hit singles you had to get on a compilation because they're not available at any other just regular Collins albums. Because who's gonna buy the fucking other soundtrack for White Nights? I'm not going to, because I have money and I want to use it for actual purchases, not that. I want to eat and live, not listen to a soundtrack that has second-rate, Fleetwood Mac players on it. That's just me.
There's a shot at Fleetwood Mac. Hey, here's a question: if Phil Collins announced that he was going to tour one more time, would you guys go?
Hell no.
If he was going to tour one more time, is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, if he went out and you knew it was going to be like the hits. He did the first final farewell tour, but you knew that you were going to get only the hits. Would you still go?
Yeah, I'd go. I would go no matter what I've never seen him, so it would just be... I would have to cross that off my list.
Yeah. Okay.
In any capacity, even though I think it would not be the same because he couldn't play drums. That's the saddest thing about this is that Phil not playing drums is... I don't know. That's half the reason I would want to go see him.
I know.
Is because, I think he's a great singer personally. I know Evan does not agree, but his drumming is just. I think he's the greatest drummer to ever pick up drumsticks personally.
Ooh.
So
Really?
Ooh.
Well, and then
think
again,
he's number one.
I mean, I say that, but then again, I listened to what was the X band? I'm totally spacing for this.
Brand X.
Thank
Brand
you.
X.
Because the
Brand X.
drumming on that, I was listening to that album Unorthodox the other day, and that was some very succinct, precise shit that he
he's
had
good.
on there.
Yeah,
like
he's so underrated.
right.
Oh, man.
And that's why I'm not necessarily like. It's just such a hard thing for me. Although here's the other question though, in terms of his Genesis work, is it like? How much do we care? Like, I mean, in terms of like in ranking him where he stands as a stuff, because really once he took over, once a big and then there were 3 came out, it's like the band. I mean, aside from all the prog stuff going to the wayside, then he's just here kind of going about and turning it into a pop song. Because like Invisible Touch, like I know it's technically a band song, but it's also basically a Phil Collins song at this point, especially once he hit Duke era. But like, and so he's like, it was really big of me to try and stick with the band while I did my solo career. But like, I want to ask.
made its return.
Exactly. Like, I mean, how you guys are the big giant, Phil Collins, Peter Gabriel, Genesis people. So that's what I want to know. I want to know where you stand on that. How much do you care about Phil Collins era, peak era, pop era, Genesis?
Do you know? Do you care? I would say. I mean, sorry, you can go ahead.
No. I was gonna say, Ryan, you go first because I kind of wonder if we're gonna agree on this. I don't know that we will, but you go. You go first.
Okay, Evan, I think I understood your question, but you were asking about like if there was much of a difference once Phil did his solo stuff
because he did his
versus
solo stuff,
his Genesis material.
And Face Value became, and for those who don't know, when he went solo, Face Value became the best-selling album that he ever did, apart from, like, even more than anything he did with Genesis. So he's like, oh, there's really something to this. I got to keep going on with it. And but the thing is that then, of course, when he came back, then Genesis, although they continued to make albums together, they just became very much more and more of a pop group to the point where Invisible Touch, to this day, a lot of people, especially when you think about Napster, a lot of people mistook it for like, oh, it's a Phil Collins song. There's like, at that point, it just kind of almost becomes indistinguishable.
Well, Genesis never wrote Thunder and Lightning, but I digress.
Very good point.
Oh,
yes.
Man. I think there's a kind of a misconception with a lot of people who look at who view Genesis as being sort of a vehicle for Phil, and I think to me Tony Banks of Genesis is the creative genius of the band. And I think that's true even up till the end of Genesis, really, if you want to consider it the end. I think every album, kind of Duke, post-Duke, has those songs where like, yeah, of course, that's the Phil song, where they kind of let him just do his thing and then added some color behind it. But I don't know, when I listen, the only album that really feels that way at all, actually, I was going to say Invisible Touch, but not really when I think about it, because there's so much density, even though the production had gotten so bright and it had been, stripped down to an extent. To me, Tony Banks is still, you can just hear him in his chord changes, really. There's just so much it's not as on the surface, like if you listen to whatever, Trick of the Tail or something, and it's very ornate, but you can still hear that in Invisible Touch. There's still a thread that goes through it. So I don't know. There are bigger pop songs for sure, and I think the production was sort of making everybody lean closer to that kind of thing. But I don't know. I still, to me, it's very separate. When I think of Phil, if I compare, I don't know, even No Jekyll Required or something to Duke, or to any of the 80s Genesis albums, to me they're very, very different. And I think it's just because you can hear the band element to it much more, and because of Tony, I think you can hear Tony's influence on everything.
All right.
So
Hot take Colin.
Yeah, you're right. Tony was very, very specific in making sure he was heard. I don't know if have you watched the BBC documentary from a couple years ago, Some of the Parts? I think.
I actually was very disappointed in that.
Me too. I was too, because you didn't really learn much. But the one thing that you found out, or at least that something that I took away from it that I didn't know before, was that Tony Banks really thought he was the leader of the band, which I didn't quite know until I saw that. The only real question when it comes to Genesis is what do you think of calling all stations? Because I think that's...
Oh dear God!
Yeah, I know.
I think it's well, I would say an abomination, but
yes.
I don't know if I would go that far. But it's
For you
pretty close.
hardcore, I hope all of the hardcore Genesis listeners right now are laughing pretty hard.
Yes, I hope
that
so.
is-
Yes,
that is a quality joke, guys. Just before we go, we talked about a lot here. Before we go, what's your favorite Phil Collins story, if you have one? Whether it be something you read about or something that you personal interaction or thing. What set list you stole from him. All sorts of things. I'm just really curious.
Oh God!
You got so many.
Unfortunately, I've never met Phil in person. I've never interviewed him. I've interviewed Tony
Yeah, you
Banks.
did.
Really? Who are you?
Yeah.
Damn it! I hate you.
Dude, I was so and I've interviewed Peter too. I got
Oh,
to
to
interview him.
hell! Fuck this! I'm out.
How did I not tell you
No,
that?
you
I
didn't
could've
tell
sworn.
Wait, which Peter? Which Peter are we talking about here?
Peter
Peter
Townsend?
Gabriel.
Yeah, Peter Townsend. Cool. Ryan Reed interviewed
Peter
Peter Townsend. Dude, that's awesome. Not Pete Townsend. Very different guy. You want to make sure.
PDG.
Yeah, exactly. So.
I have
Yeah.
Phil Collins
But-
stories. Go ahead, Ryan. I mean, fuck,
No,
you
I-
talked to everybody.
Tell us your
Who the
Peter
hell do I
Gabriel
know?
story
Yeah.
then at that point.
Yeah,
Jeez.
let's go with Peter.
Colin, give us a real story.
Give me a story.
A real story, boy. Phil Collins. I will tell you this. I don't know if you guys. There was a VHS that came out. Do you guys? Well, you might not, Evan. I don't know how much you are into it, but The Way We Walk. Remember those 2 discs, Ryan? The Genesis.
Yeah.
Did you ever see the VHS from that?
I've got actually, if it's the same thing, I've got the DVD version.
The
of
DVD
that.
does not have. I own both. That's everybody, ladies
Nerd
and gentlemen.
alert.
I do not have the
Nerd alert.
VHS.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, Colin McGuire.
Hashtag super fan.
Yeah, sorry about that. The VHS has like a 20, it's not even 20, it's like 17-minute documentary beforehand that didn't make it to the DVD, which I'm very disappointed about. And
Oh wow, I need to buy this.
and it chronicles them sort of setting up for that tour, because that was really a big tour when they did it. It was in stadiums and all
Yeah.
that stuff. And he's really like, there's this moment in that little documentary where he's just the biggest dick in the world, and all you want to do is reach through the screen and say, "Oh no, Phil, don't do that."
What was he saying?
He was like,
What did he do?
he did this radio. He was doing press in, I think it was Houston, Dallas. It was somewhere in Texas, and he started kind of mouthing off to one of the radio DJs about cheating on his wife or something like that.
Oh,
and
God.
and he just but he's trying to be funny, because Phil always tried to be funny. That was his deal.
That's his
that was
Achilles
what he-
heel if we're really getting down to it.
Yeah, that's very true. And he was always trying to be funny, and it
Like
didn't go over that
China.
well.
Sorry.
My mom and dad both say
Every goddamn time.
no, but he goes off, and everybody in the studio is not laughing, and then Phil starts to laugh, and there's this uncomfortable moment where everybody else just feels like they have to laugh, and it's very odd. It's very very uncomfortable. So if you get that, go watch the
Yeah.
VHS for the live The Way We Walk, the Way We Walk thing. But I have to tell this really, really quick. It's not a Phil story, but it's tied to Phil. Chester Thompson, who is a hero of mine, drummer, because I play the drums and all that. I years and years ago, I thought it would be the coolest thing, because he teaches at Belmont, Nashville, where I think are you close to Nashville, Ryan? I think you are.
I'm in Knoxville. I'm about 2 hours.
So that's closer than
yeah,
I am,
not-
at least.
Not
Yeah.
too far.
But
where he is.
Chester teaches music at Belmont University, and
Yeah.
I found his teacher email address, and I emailed him and asked him for a pair of signed drumsticks, and I thought,
As one does. Yeah.
as one does, yes, but I thought he'd never, ever comply. And lo and behold, it took him about 2 weeks. He emailed me back, and he said, "Yeah, no problem. What do you need?" And I was just shocked by this.
Wow.
And then this is the crazy part, though. I was working in Pennsylvania at this time, in southwestern Pennsylvania, and he says this. He says, "Hey, I'm with my jazz trio tonight in Scranton," or something like that. Could I meet you in a parking lot to give you these drumsticks? instead of sending them in the mail. I'm like, holy fuck, you have to be kidding me.
Yeah.
And it just so turned out that was it was very short notice when he emailed me that. I couldn't do it at the time, which I'm still kicking myself for to this day. Yeah, I'm very distraught about this. I would like to not talk about it anymore. But I was like, I can't make it, because he's like, can you meet me in 3 hours? It was one of those things. And I was like, well, I can't. And he's like, okay, what's your address? And a day later, there's a box at my doorstep, and it is a pair of drumsticks from Chester Thompson signed. And that is one of the greatest things I've ever accomplished.
That's beautiful, man.
That sounds like a drug deal that almost happened, is what that sounds like.
I just wanted to meet him in like a parking lot of a Burger King and say, where's my drumsticks, Dan?
Yeah.
Oh my God. The only thing I will add to this is that when I interviewed Tony Banks, of course it was one of the highlights of my entire life.
He seems like he'd be such a dick. Was he a dick? No,
he's actually. I thought he was gonna be very, very stern and kind of intimidating. But I think because I complimented him so much up front that he just was actually very warm to me. It was very shocking because he seems like the coldest person. But
yes, he does.
Like later on in the interview, I was asking him about randomly just talked about like, what modern music do you like? I don't know why I ended up asking him that's such a generic question, but he said something about things that he listens to, and he's like, I don't listen to any hip hop. I don't like Kanye West, and he said it Kanye, and it made me laugh so hard. For some reason that sticks out in my head that he said Kanye. So
that's pretty.
How long ago was that interview?
I think last year.
Back when he was a young lad.
Yeah, he put out these reissues. I don't know, Colin, if you've heard those, by the way, of his solo stuff. I don't know if you've listened to much of his solo things, but
not a lot of it, but some of it. Was he like Abacab's genius? Damn it.
Yeah. I mean, actually, I will say I want to give myself a little bit of credit here. I believe I helped your guys' Genesis-based relationship blossom. I would like to think that I was the matchmaker in terms of getting that, and apparently brand new now too together. It just blossomed into a thing all together that no one was expecting. But I would like to say my Phil Collins story is actually not even a story. I would like to read to you one sentence from Roger Ebert's review of the movie Buster. The one sentence that just struck out to me is as follows. Buster is played with surprising effectiveness by rock star Phil Collins, who looks and sounds like a gentler Bob Hoskins.
Oh my God.
Have either one of you seen Mona Lisa? The movie Mona Lisa?
No.
Not Mona Lisa Smile, just Mona Lisa.
The whole movie is centered around In Too Deep.
What?
And Bob Hoskins looks like Phil Collins. He does. He like that review that you just read, Evan, that's accurate. That's very accurate.
That's amazing. Well, guys, we learned a lot of things. Phil Collins actually dead right now because he was Bob Hoskins. He doubled over in A Mystery Life. And Bob Hoskins, of course, amazing actor, left us with amazing movies like Super Mario Brothers, as we know.
I have to say this. I have a Mike Rutherford story, but if we're going to do a Genesis one someday, I'll save it
No, just throw out your Rutherford story right now. I want to hear it. I've determined that.
I met Mike Rutherford, Ryan.
Wow.
And I met him. He was doing the Mike and the Mechanics thing 2 years ago, and they were doing small clubs, and I went, and it was the dead of winter. It must have been negative 20 degrees out, and I was literally one of 4 people standing outside the tour bus 2 hours after their set.
That's so sad.
And
not on your part, just in general that he could. Yeah. I mean, like well, he didn't sell it out either. It was like a 500 seater. Nobody cared. So I'm standing there, and and the tour manager comes out, and he's like, "Oh, what do you guys want?" I'm like, I need Mike. And he's like, "Oh, okay." He goes away for another 20 minutes. Comes out, "What do you want?" I'm like, "You know what I want, damn it," and all this shit. So then finally, and I'm not kidding you, I waited out there for hours. Mike Rutherford trots out, and he looks at me, and he says, he looks right in my eyes, and he says, "What the fuck do you want?" Oh my God.
And I was like, oh my God, I don't know what to say. And then he follows it up with, it's so bloody cold out here. And I was like, oh man, I'm so sorry. And I got a quick picture with him, and I had him sign my Mike and the Mechanics records, and then I left, and that was it. And he seemed to be so angry in that moment. So I think what we've learned is that Mike Rutherford is more of a dick than Tony Banks.
Yeah, I think so. That just really tarnished my image of Mike. I thought he was the gentle, sweet, affectionate one, and Tony was the asshole. But I think we've got this reversed.
Yeah, this reversed.
I think that when he looked at you with his eyes and he said, "What the fuck do you want?" I think you should have just stood there for a second, paused, a little bit shivery, a little bit cold, and just gone, "Kanye West?" And just see what he would have done.
I would have said,
"Oh, that's."
I want you to be like China.
Oh God! All right, guys, listen. I'm ending it right now. I want to thank Colin. I want to thank Ryan. Thank you guys so much for swinging by and drunkenly perusing the Genesis book from Genesis to Revelation. Guys, thank you so much for listening. Like us on the Facebook and the Tune and then the iTunes and the Google and all the other things. Both of you, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. I really do.
Thanks for having me.
Well,
this was a blast.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening. Keep on listening. You know that will be. Have a good one. Bye.
My mom and dad both say,